Kathy Bernardo here from the Northeast Assisted Fertility Group. There are about 500 IVF clinics in the United States, and chances are, if you live in a city, you've got a lot of choices. So how do you choose? Well, I think there are three major factors to consider. One is cost, another is time, and the other is selection. Now, you have to prioritize. One has to be first and one has to be last. They can't all be first. Now, by the time you've already started to consider donor egg, you may have already done a number of IVF cycles at a clinic, so you may already have a relationship with the clinic. In that case, you may want to stick with them. So the couple of questions you need to ask is, do they have their own donor pool, or do they have a relationship with a frozen egg bank? And they may have both. They may freeze some eggs there, they may work with fresh donors locally, and they may have a relationship with a frozen egg bank. So that would be the most cost-effective as well as quickest way to go. But there are a couple of things to consider. They only draw on local donors, so the selection is smaller. And if they have an exclusive relationship with a single egg bank, you can't widen your search. So you are limited that way. So if you don't find anyone you like, you may have to go on a waiting list and wait. And the wait can be a few months to even a year for some people. Now, if selection is more important to you, then you want to maybe go look at some private agencies just like ours, the Northeast Assisted Fertility Group, where we recruit from all over the country, and you will widen your selection that way. That will be costlier because there may be travel, the compensation is higher, there are agency fees, but you're more likely to find a donor you really like if you widen your search and go to a private agency. Now, as an egg donor coordinator, a lot of people ask me, what's the best clinic to work with? Well, there isn't a single answer that's right for everyone. What I say to gay men who don't have rounds of IVF and they're just starting out fresh, or anyone else just starting out fresh, is that what I like to look at is the number of egg donor cycles any clinic does in a year. I find that if they're really experienced, and they do a lot of egg donor cycles, they have a really good protocol in place, they have a really good team, they know what to do, the donor gets all the attention she needs, and things work out really well. So the way to find that out, who does the most donor cycles in your city, is to take a look at the SART website. SART is the Society for Assisted Reproductive Technology, sart.org. And so I'm going to walk you through that so you can take a look and see how you can find out the statistics from various clinics near you. So let's start at sart.org, SART.org, Society for Assisted Reproductive Technology. Go to IVF Success and find a clinic. Plug in your zip code and you will get a list of clinics. So let's just start here. You will get a disclaimer. You have to check that off. Since it takes about a year to get full statistics in for any 1 year, they will be about a year behind. Let's take a look at just donor eggs here. So for donor eggs, they'll give you stats on fresh, frozen, thawed, and donated. So starting with fresh, you'll see they've done 82 cycles. They'll give you the singleton live birth rate. They emphasize that because that is what they consider the ideal outcome. And then the total number of live births from those cycles, etc. You can also take a look and see how many transfers there were overall and the average number of embryos transferred. And then you can go to frozen. You can see how many frozen they do. They can get frozen eggs from egg banks or from their own pool, and then the live birth rate for those. Then you'll see the thawed embryos. In this case, it happens to be the largest number by far. That's the most typically done nowadays because it doesn't require any synchronization between the recipient and donor. Now, it's really important to take these statistics with a grain of salt. Don't go by statistics alone. It's a lot of fun to look at all these places. They have all the statistics public. You can go bounce around, and a percentage point here or there doesn't have much of a difference. So just keep that in mind. And the other thing that you should know is that the magic of IVF happens in the lab, which you never see. It doesn't happen in meetings with your doctor. It doesn't happen in the examining room. So in sum, make your priorities and plan according to those priorities. Be aware of the statistics of your clinic, but don't let them drive you crazy. And the relationship with your own doctor is really very important. So I hope this was helpful. Please give it a thumbs up. Please write any comments below and I'll reply. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to go to assistedfertility.com where you can have free access to our donor database. Thanks so much for watching.